Now, government has offered public sector unions a new wage deal of a 1.5% hike, which includes a monthly cash allowance of 1,000 rand. This ahead of a planned public service strike as early as this week. Joining us on their considerations on the new wage offer is the Public Servants Association spokesperson, Mr. Ruben Maleka. A very good afternoon to you, Mr. Maleka. Your sentiments on this revised offer from government?
Yeah, thank you, Austami, and the viewers at home. Look, the employer has formally tabled a draft agreement that contains an offer of, monthly gratuity of ranging from 1,220 to 1,695 monthly. That offer also entails that should we not be able to find each other on our demands up until next year, March, it will be continued to be paid to all employees in the public service. It also entails one part that talks about pay progression of 1.5 being paid to all employees. That is where the difficulty is, as we know that there are various resolutions that addresses the issue of pay progression in the public service, some including OSDs that talks to, instead of 1.5, they talk about 3%. The correctional service one talking about biannual of 3%. So those are the issues that could not be concluded. We'll be going back to the table on Friday to clear out some of those issues that we find difficult to really comprehend and also source some sort of clarity. The other last part that is critical is that the draft resolution talks to implementation of the whole agreement with effect from 1 April for the employees who were in service as of 1 April. And it gives impression that those who were employed after 1 April would not be covered. And those are sort of clarities that will be found out on Friday, 9th July. While in the meantime, PSA is a democratic trade union. We have kickstarted the mandating process, meaning that we want to give members an opportunity to state their views on the offer so that we can move in tandem with our members, knowing exactly what is their feeling, what is their inputs on the draft, and whether they reject, whether they can accept the offer, because we believe that at any particular time that the employer can formally table an offer, it must be the members who must have a say, and then we as negotiators and we as leadership, we must take cue from the members.
Now, talk to us about this new offer. According to this offer, level 6 employees are going to be receiving a remuneration which is equal to the CPI, the cost of living adjustment, plus 2.1%. And those workers who are at level 10, they'll be receiving an amount that's equal to CPI. What does this mean to you as workers as far as the end result of how much money you'll actually get left in your pockets?
Look, in fact, if you look at the whole deal that the employer is bringing, it's just an acknowledgement that they are incapable of addressing our demands. So they are actually coming with a stopgap measure to try to say that, look, while we cannot be able to deal with the actual demands, we want to save the situation of members' affordability. You know that as of today, as we speak, the food inflation and some of the commodities that are crucial and are basic commodities have gone up between 25% to 30%. The petrol price has also been pushed as we speak today. Also, it went up again. And we know that as of 1 July also, the price of electricity has increased by 15%. And all those kind of things cannot be ignored. Therefore, with what the employer is giving us as a gratuity, as a pay progression, is an admission of government of saying that they are incapable of affording our table demands, and we are not necessarily going to put our demands on the side. But this is just a stopgap measure of saying, let's have a deal other than the 0%. Remember, we're moving where the employer was actually even mooting, and in fact has actually pronounced even publicly that in the next 3 years they'll be giving us 0%, and nothing else. So with what the government is offering, we are of the view that the gratuity that is being given, it should be the members who give us mandate of saying, look, let's take it or not take it, but in the meantime, we know that our demands are still standing, and from time to time, when government fiscus improves, we need to go back and deal with our demands.
We've heard Mogoena Maluleka, the General Secretary of SATU, saying that this current offer is an improvement because at first, as you were saying, government was giving a 0% wage hike. And this seems to be receiving levels of positivity from some COSATU-affiliated unions. Why is it that the PSA seems so far away from what we're seeing right now from other unions?
Look, at this point, remember, this is the first time that the PSA receives an offer, which becomes an formal offer. And where we are sitting, we have never tested the offer with members. So that's why you might see that some unions already have a particular view or they've got a mandate, is because at the time during the negotiations, they went under facilitation while we were in dispute. And this offer, which is new to us as PSA, the only sensible thing to do, and procedurally and in terms of the requirements of collective bargaining, is simply to go back to members and say, this is what the employer has tabled, what is your input, what is your mandate, and we'll take it from there. If it comes back from members to say, look, we know that we already have picketing rules, we already have a certificate, this is nothing that we cannot accept, then we'll proceed with the strike action. But if members decide otherwise, we'll have to abide by the mandate because we are a union driven by mandate of the workers.
So did you indeed return to the negotiation table yesterday?
Yes, of course. We have been saying all the time that, collective bargaining is about talking. If you can't talk as trade unions, as employer, there will never be effective resolution. There will never be a way of finding each other, so that at the end of the day, there's compromises. Remember, collective bargaining is give and take. That is why when we make those demands, we knew that at a particular time, we need to mandate, we need to move from our positions, and we believe that the also employer had to move from a position. And because once any party in these negotiations become positional, there will never be a resolution. And what encourages is that now the employer has moved from zero base that they've been saying they cannot move. And therefore, it means where they've moved on, it needs to be tested to say that what is the feeling of the workers. And of course, the PS has been ready all the time that we want to be part of these particular negotiations, and we want our members' views to be heard. And it's an opportunity that we have today, and we are going to make sure that our members have the say on the offer that has been tabled yesterday.
It seems, Mr. Maluleka, that there are two concurrent processes happening here. There are the negotiations, which are still ongoing, but also there's a ballot that has been effected. Talk to us about the ballot and when you are expecting results of that ballot.
Look, the ballot that we have done as PSA has been concluded. We have a view of what members said at the time. And remember, at the time of balloting, the PSA did not have any offer. So it means now that because we have an offer, we have to stay the process of the outcome of the balloting to go and test what is being tabled right now, so that members also have a view. Because ultimately, you cannot ignore what has been tabled and run for a mandate that was before the offer that has been made. Therefore, it's only sensible, fair that members have a view of what the offer entails. And if the member said, look, PSA, we cannot accept what the employer has offered you, proceed with what we already balloted on, then we have to action that particular strike action.
So does it mean that, Mr. Maleka, there's a possibility that you've got to redo the ballot, and now based on this new offer?
At this point in time, we have to do reballoting, we have to do the mandating. All what we are doing right now, and we have started, our lines are open, our website is open, and members are busy giving their inputs in terms of the resolution. And on the mandate that they'll give us of saying we reject or we accept, then it's then that the PSA would have a position of which we are going to respond to the employer and say, look, they might even say that, look, there are certain things that need to be sorted out in the draft. And if these things are sorted, you have a mandate. So it's part of the negotiations, it's part of mandating, it's part of involving members in the whole deal so that at the end of the day, we have a majority of a position of the members of the PSA that can take us forward. But we are hopeful, we are optimistic that come Friday when we engage with the employer, the PSA will have a view of members in the whole draft that has been tabled by the employer yesterday.
That's Mr. Ruben Maleka, the spokesperson for the Public Servants Association. Thank you for your time, sir.